my assistants. So how do you measure lids? We're gonna do, you can use a caliber. So these are old-fashioned kind calibers. So basically you measure, so how this works? That says if you make a simple lid, yeah? So you measure right here, and you go the end, the edge to the edge, you measure that right in the middle. So, okay, right there. And you take the ruler, and then you can measure it. So, okay, from the end to the end, that's about 2 3/4. So I'm gonna do it right here. I'm gonna pick it like that, 2 3/4, like that, okay? Do it this way. So when you throw the complex flange, and that's how you measure inside. Easy? Yeah? Okay. We'll try to use this again for you, yeah. Or, you see that in and out is pretty not flexible, and so they're very smart. Buy one of these. So watch. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna measure it this way. Keep going, keep going. That's how you measure. This is called caliber. All right, so do it right there. See that? And then opposite side will be that. So that's how that works. You can use the other way. I think you can use this way too. Yeah, same. I think this way is the okay way. Okay, here you go. There you go. See? And then that will be that measurement. Yeah? Okay. Or you can through the lid and you can grab it and you can measure that. Okay. So I'm going to do a number 3 again, one more time. This time I'm gonna make it a little bigger. So center, well, make sure where my cut line is. Here's my knob. I'm gonna do a little knot right there. I'm gonna pull the clay out and up. Throw like a cylinder. Compress the rim. One more time. Throw like a cylinder. Okay, you want to make sure this angle is slightly tapered, not straight or not inward. Yeah, because it won't fit. Because why? Because this part is where it's gonna fit through your teapot. If this part is wider than the top, that means your lid's gonna be loose. Yes? So always almost like a plug is better. Okay, I throw this is like a cylinder. And I will compress. What I just did is I run my clay finger from the bottom to the top. So get that straight line. Yes? Then I'm gonna measure where my cut line. Yes? So that looks like a little cupcake with the things in the middle, yeah? And now I'm gonna fold it down. Can you see it? My finger right here, like that. I'm gonna fold it down. And then once I did that, I compress the top, compress the edge, bring out the knot, and then that's my number 3. We good? Okay. Anything you want me to do one more time, I can do that. If not, I'm gonna move on. Yes? Okay. Now, this is a simple, this is a complex lid. Yes. Okay. Now, what else you need? If you need a simple lid, you need to have a complex flange. So how do you do a complex flange? You're gonna do a simple. Yes. Wait. Before I do the complex flange, if you make the teapot, besides a lid, what else you need? Spouts. So how do you make spout? How do you make spout? What's the shape? What's a spout shape? Cylinder. Do you know how to make cylinder? Of course you do. So you can center, well, open, yes. I'm gonna bring them up. This is where I'm gonna cut my spout. So I'm gonna come up. What you see right here is my outside hand push harder than my inside hand. Yes? Yes? Yes. I'm gonna keep going. Gonna come up one more time. If you want a spout smaller than this and your finger already can fit, I'm gonna go back in using this. You can use the needle tool to make them closer. Can you see the spout right now? It's actually a sideways spout, right? If I cut it, I'm gonna cut it right here. That's one shape. Can you see the spout? If I cut it in an angle, this is what the spout look like. You see? It's a straight cylinder, yeah? I'm gonna do it again, different variations shape. Again, throw off the hump is really, it's much easier when you do the teapot because there's so many parts. Center, well, open, and pull. I do everything in one shot. This time I'm gonna do a rounder. Again. And that look like a tiny vase. But if you cut it in an angle, it looks like a spout. So I ask you to do your cylinder. And then I ask you to do a bowl shape. And that's all because once you learn how to do that, you throw anything. If you know how to make cylinder, you can make anything. Yes? Okay. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to compress. Does that look like a cylinder? It's a closed foam cylinder, remember? Tiny bit one. Yeah? I'm going to take this, I'm going to take it out. I don't like that spout looks big. I'll make it smaller. It's like a little, ooh, very, okay. I just realized that if I do it for, cannot make any bad joke. Okay, there you go. Am I? Yes, okay, and do that, see that? And I'm gonna maybe flare out a little bit because the way the water pour, yeah. Okay, so if I do this in the side way, okay, like that, and I cut it and then make it into a spout. Yeah? Okay. Any other spout? Long spout, short spout is all cylinder. Yeah? Okay. Have a longer spout. Center well open. And right here. Gonna come up even longer. Right here. How about I make it, poke it out, and then go in. So compress. These are all on the training of the cylinder, right? And then the rest of it go in. And then we're gonna throw that. Funky looking, but does it look like a vase? Yeah, you cut it sideways, it's a spout. Yes, yes, like that. I can do it like that. See, look at the vase. Gonna cut it right here. Okay. So besides the spout and lid, what else do we need for the teapot? What? Handles. Yes. You know how to make handles? How do you make handle? What way you can make handle? Pole and coil, yes. Slab, absolutely. What else?
Cylinder.
You can make cylinder. Can you throw a lid? I'm throwing it right now. Well, let's throw the handle. I'm throwing it right now. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Remember, let me see. I think you want to do a ring. So watch. I'm going to take this. I'm going to compress. This is a tiny handle. I'm going to go down. That's my cut line. We'll let them dry. How many handles am I making? 4 handles. Right? Very good. Okay, make sure your hand is dry so they don't change the shape. If you can, you can throw on the bats. We talk about this, right? A little bit. So I'm gonna take this out. Yes. Okay. Oh, how about I just want one handle? Center, well, open, pull. Compress, cut line. Can you see I'm making handle? Maybe. I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna run through it. Dry my hand again. Try not to use a paper towel, use a towel. Does that look like a handle? Yeah? Okay. So you can pull the handle, you can make a coil, you can throw the handle, all that. Yeah? Okay, now the spout, teapot. We have a lid, we have a spout, we have a handle. Now what do you need? The body. Now remember the body, we say we have a complex flange, which is this. Yes? And then we have a simple flange. How do you make simple flange? A teapot. It's a cylinder. Watch. Center, well, open. I'm gonna make a baby one. Yeah? Now, in here, I already have lid in mind. So I still need to compress, okay? Any way you do, you need to compress, even though this is a demo. To make sure it's uneven right now, I'm gonna cut it off. I do uneven too, just like you do. Yeah. Now, normally I would like to when I make teapot, I make my lid first, so I don't have to use a caliber. So what I do is I just take my lid and I bring it right here. It's like, oh man, my lid is too big, my body is too small. Yes? So what I do is I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna still see my flange is thick, okay? And I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna take this. All getting there, yes? So I'm gonna do that. One more time, compress. I'm gonna exaggerate it for you. So can you see I push it out? I'm gonna take this, and it's like, oh no, it's too big. Then what you do? You go in, remember? That's how I like making a teapot, is having a lid. I can bring it in without using caliber. Some people like to use a caliber, which is like this. If you take this and you measure it, okay, right about here, and then that's my lid right there. Okay, you can do that. Okay, so what's this? This is a simple flange. So if I have a simple flange, I actually can put a complex lid in there. Oh, look at that. I know what I'm doing now. So this is called a simple flange. But the tricky part is, how do you make a complex flange? Okay? And actually, remember I just used this earlier? Same thing, you're gonna use this. But you need to make sure that your rim right here is a little thick. So I'm gonna make it a little thicker. And see it? A little thicker rim. This is called compression. I ask you to do compression all the time, yes? Okay, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take my rib that is 90 degree. Okay, watch, don't blink. I'm gonna take 90 degree right here. I'm gonna split this top of a clay in half. My finger support underneath. Watch. That's how you make a complex flange. Anybody have questions? And you're gonna take this. You can take this and you can measure it in. Oh, almost, but tiny bit too small. So what I would do is I'm gonna push this out just a little bit. I'm gonna take this, tiny bit too big, and then I'm gonna push in a little bit. That's how I like to make. However, people like to use caliber. Yeah, and that will be fine too. So what you do is you take this, again, you measure it. So much stuff. That means you have to have a, here you go, a little bit more. Okay, here you go. That is a width of your lid. And that means this on the back, it's gonna be the width of your pots right here. So I'm gonna push out just a little bit more. Yeah, like that. But I think it's easier, just grab this, put it right here. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little too much. And then you want this angle right here, you want to slightly taper. Yeah. And I think this part right here is getting a little too thick because all you need is less than a 1/4 inch to hold your lid on. So I'm going to cut it. Okay, right here. Now go back, compress. Measure one more time. Boop. Perfect. Yes. Okay. Hey, I forgot to do something outside.
So the lid and the pot dry at the same rate, right? If the shrinkage is not more on the smaller or the larger, or it's inconsequential? You know, the shrinkage?
The lid usually shrink a little more because the massive, the amount. So yeah, they usually a little more. But I still make them. You want to make it slightly bigger so you can shape it down. If you can really precisely make them, you want to make them slightly bigger so you can grind them down to fit. If you're too small, then it's always wobble. Yeah. Okay. Good question. Gonna take this. So this is bottom. I'll run out. Can I have one more? Pick it up. Thank you. All right. One more time. So, center. Well. Open. Center will open. Compress. Again, have the lid in mind so you don't have to use a caliper. But if you don't, use a caliper for measurement. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to make, I'm gonna pull it up one more time. So here's my body, compress. Which lid I should use, or make you another complex flange, okay? So I'm bringing it in just a little bit right here. Again, this measurements, if you already have a caliber, if not, I'm gonna take this roughly, okay? Remember how to use it? 90-degree angle, put it down right here. thing I'm gonna do, thin out just a little bit. Okay, finger support underneath, gently come push it down. Break that clay in half. Push it out a little bit more. That is a complex flange. Ruffle. Okay. I think this part, I always end up getting too much. I'm gonna take my needle tool. Cause this part is too thick, you don't need it. All you need is a 1/4 inch. So somehow I always got a little thicker right here. All right. Here you go. Yep. I'm gonna take this. When you join a teapot, you always make sure that your teapot is letter heart stage when you join. If you handling it during the wet, it kind of changes shape. So be aware of that, okay? This is demo, so it's easier to kind of, actually I should have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And go back in. Okay. So I actually can do, I'll go in and then push the clay out just a little bit more. So was a single serving, now you can invite friend. Okay, and then let them dry a little bit. Compress the edges. And then when you're done, okay, so all these you need to make a hole, put the lid on the angle in the spout, we'll assemble later. But now, you do not put them together to let them dry. You put them separate, okay? Do you cut them? I'll say, because you're a simple lid, you can almost cut them. But if you're a complex lid, you can put your lid on top to trim it. Okay, anybody have a questions? So you got a lid, you have a spout, and then you have a handle. Yeah, and you can have this handle too. Yeah. Okay, no questions?